Alrighty, howdy neighbors and welcome back to TODO today. Last time we had a wind down after taking Joyce home, and now we're at the grand finale of the art competition. And it's talking about us taking a test, and I swear to God, I cannot take a test. I always panic. Finally knowing what I had to do eased my worries a bit. I've come so far, I can't mess this up now. Alright. Hello there, pretty people. This show is about to begin. I'm a senior concept artist at Nodcat, and I'm your host for today. Without further ado, let's get started. As you know, the first task is all about theory. But because just letting you write down answers on a piece of paper would be boring to watch, we decided to spice things up a little. I'll ask a question and you take turns answering. You have 9 seconds to answer. No! No, 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 no! No, 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 no. No, 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 no. God help me. Where are you? No, 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 no. I hate it. Oh my god, I'm already sweating. We just started. If you answer incorrectly, the question will be open as well. And you'll have to wait for the next question. All in all, you need 2 correct answers to move on to the next test. But if you fail to answer 3 questions, you're out. But be fast, but not rash. I am sweating so bad. And don't forget to smile for the camera. Last I heard, we had 20,000 viewers. It feels strange to think. But honestly, I'd rather have a written test. Me too! Ready? No? Alright, I'll start with you there. It's an easy one, so try not to embarrass yourself. What era of art history is neoclassicism used as a basis for a set of values and guidelines? What? Renaissance? I'll let that count because we're still warming up. But the correct answer would have been the classical art of ancient Greece and Rome. They did, however, also get the inspiration from early Renaissance art. I won't be going this easy on any of you anymore. You better brace yourselves. Except Phoenix. The marble slab that would eventually be turned into Michelangelo's Dave was originally cut 43 years earlier for an artist named Agostino di Duccio. He was tasked with making a statue for the Florence Cathedral. However, he abandoned the project, and 10 years later another artist picked up the marble. What was the name of the artist? Da Vinci? No. Who did Michelangelo? God, I don't know shit about art. Oh, Google. Oh, it was by Michelangelo. Statue of David. I thought it was called Michelangelo, not David. Whoops. This jump in difficulty. I want to say Michelangelo, but this is your question, right? Oh, kind of bad for Phoenix. Antonio Rossellino. I'm gonna fail! I'm gonna lose! No. I hate air. He abandoned the marble as well because he found it too difficult to sculpt. I can't say I expected this answer, but you're correct. Gasp. He knew it? I could almost feel bad for that marble. But at least it got turned into a statue eventually. Now this is the bar quite high for everyone else. I hope you're prepared. Next we'll move on to... I hate it here! No! this is anything like the last question, I'm screwed. This question is a bit more contemporary. In digital painting, there's a technique that incorporates parts of photographs. What's it called? Oh, it's layering, right? The background layering? God, I'm saving. Photo bashing. Photo bashing. Correct. Before anyone says anything about the legitimacy of the technique, Red Naughty Cat I think it's perfectly fine to use. If you disagree, you probably never had to make photorealistic art on a tight deadline and lots of revisions. Alright, on to the next question then. We'll give you a bit of a breather with this one. What is the contemporary color of purple? Complementary color of purple. It's not yellow, because that's on the opposite thing. Is it blue? Red? Wait, no. Too late to decide what the question is open to everyone now. Does anyone know? Complementary... Fucking Google. Complementary color wheel, thank you. Oh, it is yellow! Alright, well, RIP. Complementary color of purple. Yellow. Yellow. Spot on. Thank you, Google! I love you. Again, I'm not an art guy. Art is hard. I've tried to do it multiple times. I'm not an art guy. Spot on. Nice combo you have going there, Iolite. With something like this can already throw people off balance, maybe it's time to increase the difficulty. Next two questions were brutal. Barely anyone managed to answer correctly on the first try. Even though this meant several opportunities for me to get points, I had no chance of even guessing the answers. Basically, we finished the first rotation. 4 people were already out because they threw in too many wrong answers. A phoenix... Of course, Phoenix got his question right again. It suddenly was my turn once more. Technically I already passed, but I was still nervous. Alright, Iolite, your turn. Time for a thought experiment. No! Why? Let's say you pass. Actually, no. You not only pass, but you get the job here. What do you want to do? Concept art. Concept art, nice. And that might be your lead. Well, okay, let's say you're a concept artist working under me, and you just submitted a concept that our art director isn't happy with. Specifically, it's about a few details that don't seem to match the requirements of the style. What do you do? Remove the details. Remove the details if that's what's necessary for the concept art to fit in with the rest. Just like that. Well, of course I'd have to make sure that the concept isn't lacking anything once they're removed, but the art director has the last word, right? You're not wrong, but we aren't looking for workers who just execute other people's ideas. But alright, you'd be a junior artist after all, so this answer is fine. I'll let it count. Anyway, I think we'll stop here. Did I expect we'd already be down to 4 people after just one rotation? If you didn't make it, feel free to go down to the lobby and watch the rest of the livestream. Everyone else stay here. Next step's the practical test. I don't want it. If I have to actually draw, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna like fully cry. After a short break to set everything up, we were told that the task was what the task was going to be. A character design. Oh, thank God. Computers, software, and other equipment were provided. At first I was pretty excited about the task, until the final details were revealed. Well, well, looks like our remaining 4 finalists are quite the motley crew. Are you all ready? Alright, if you have any technical problems, now is the time to speak up, or else it'll take up your work time. I have a total of 90 minutes to come up with an idea, and get it into a presentable state. Oh, and we'll make rounds with the camera to show everyone at home what you're making. So be ready to answer some questions. Fuck my life. I don't want to. No. Seriously. They don't expect a full-on production quality here, right? Before you ask, of course we mainly judge the idea, but executing it well will obviously give you more points. Any questions? No? Well, let's get this started then. Wait, so is there a topic? Or are we just supposed to design a random character? Oh, I'm sorry, didn't I mention? The topic is Combat Mailman. FedEx, where you at? Feel like a berserker. No, didn't you hear what I said? Yeah, Combat Mailman. Like a really manly fighter, right? Okay, scratch that. I'm making it a mail clerk now. As someone who works at the post office, for everyone who hasn't caught on. Gender doesn't matter. Oh, but don't forget the combat bit. I'm curious how you'll combine these topics. Feel free to do some world building to tie everything together. Aside from the main theme, you're free to do whatever you want. Alright, any more questions? Well, then get ready. Your 90 minutes starts now. The topic itself already felt like a curveball, but only having 90 minutes is still the biggest obstacle. The time pressure quickly won over my general nervousness, so I started sketching. I knew formulating a complete idea and then trying to execute it in time wouldn't work. Not the fastest, but at least I know my limits. I decided to make something simple. Built the design with interesting shapes and a twist on the concept. He also took some liberties with the topic and made it about email. So the mail clerk would be more like an AI sorting incoming mails and sending others off, all while defending the user from viruses, spam, and phishing mails. Even so, I didn't think about what I was doing as much as I probably should have. Once I found the idea that worked, I clung to it. But it did keep me from changing things over and over again. Of course, right when I found a fatal flaw in my design and started erasing what didn't work, the camera team appeared. I think I somehow salvaged the situation, but it was stressful. Eventually the time was up, and we had to present our respective pieces. I was so nervous I couldn't even present while the others were presenting, or focus while others were presenting, or think of what I'd say once it was my turn. The jury standing before me was all that occupied my mind. They didn't introduce themselves. It was likely that they were all lead artists, art directors, and who knows what else. After the first two presenters were over, the host turned to me and I realized it was time. Alright then, Iolite. The viewers at home already got a glimpse of your piece, but please show us your final product. And tell us all the juicy little details that make it special. Yeah, sure. Here is my combat mail clerk. Or AI, rather. Damn, was even my thought process while making this still a blur now. Maybe I should start explaining why I chose an AI. Most communication is digital these days, so I decided it made more sense to focus on email. And since that makes the mail clerk digital, I decided to make them an AI. As you can see, there are some additional arms in the back. These are actually interchangeable. So depending on the AI's current tasks, they could equip knives for combat, or some extra hands to sort the mail more quickly. Interesting. Since you made a virtual character, is there a reason that they look rather male? Or would there be other gender expressions too? They actually don't have a gender. Actually, I decided that it didn't make sense to arbitrarily give an AI a gender. They're going for an androgynous look. Yes. Now that you say it, I can kinda see it. Thanks for the clarification. Could you also tell us more about the clothing and those inclined skates? Of course. The colors of the clothing and the logo are mainly inspired by the uniforms of local post offices, which might not read well internationally, but I figured yellow also communicates that you're a worker and draws attention to the torso. Other than that, I wanted to keep things functional and techy without going overboard on details. So it's mostly black and gray. Some blue here and there that already... oh. Since that's already the color of the hair and the marks of their face. As the inclined skates. I want an AI to be fast, as emails are practically instant, and this seemed like the best way to achieve that while keeping them humanoid. They also help them during combat. Though to be fair, it's all metaphorical at that point, but so is the whole concept of their world. But are you telling me emails aren't delivered by AIs on roller skates? I mean, just kidding, your reasoning is fine. They had an interesting approach to communicate their speed. One last question. In your particular setting, why is there a need for your mail clerk to be armed? Well, I figured since the AI is already personified, viruses and spam mail might be too. And if the AI has agency and works for their respective user, they probably want to protect them from those threats. So their responsibilities would be to receive, sort, and send off mails, as well as fighting off threats. Nice and simple. I like it. Do you have anything else to add? I don't think so. Well then, on to the next presentation. Phoenix, please tell us all there is to know about your design. Sure. I decided to take a more historical approach, take inspiration from uniforms of the early 20th century. Mainly postal workers, but there are also military influences to stay in line with the combat theme. I noted most of the important points on the concept, but in short, I wanted it to be functional and classy. Her appearance is supposed to convey the feeling of a service worker with combat experience. Friendly but stern when necessary. Most of all, I wanted her to be reliable and reassuring. Have you thought about why she's carrying a gun? Yes, it is not directly referring to any world conflicts, but I decided on a war setting. Mail clerks like her often handle important or confidential messages, so she is armed to protect herself and the mail. As for her character, I thought that it might be interesting to make her a spy. But that was about all the world building I could do in those 90 minutes. Sure, that's fine. Did I hear you right? You decided to make her a unique character, and not just a stand-in for how mail clerks look in that setting. Both, kind of. She of course showcases the mail clerk uniform, but I also wanted her to look interesting enough to be an actual character. Alright, thanks for the clarification. If you don't have anything else to add, the other judges and I will start a discussion now. Stay right where you are, folks. We'll be right back. The judges began to confer. I had no idea how well I did, or how I stood compared to the other participants. Phoenix's design looked more polished than mine, but I was too nervous to really compare them beyond that. It wasn't my opinion that counted anyway. Before too long, the host returned to announce the decision. Well, that's tough. All four of you have done a great job. We have to make a decision nonetheless. First off, Phoenix. As always, impressive work. Getting lost in details is pretty dangerous when working on a tight time constraints, but you barely managed to dodge that. The design itself is fairly basic, but it's well executed, fits all the requirements, and has enough intriguing bits to still look unique. It's not quite unanimous this time, but you're in the final round of the finale. As for the last slot of the finale showdown, it's a tough one. All of you have certain qualities, but we're not looking for a showdown of technical skill alone. Phoenix already covers that front. So we'll be looking for someone else for the final finalist. Iolite, did you struggle with the time limit? Honestly, we kinda crushed it. Nah. No, makes you say that. Be a little more honest with yourself. There's no shame in that. It actually made your piece more interesting. Visually, it's pretty rough and simplistic, but you focus on the core, the design itself. I'm glad you decided to take some time to think about the world first, before starting the design process. Of course, it looks like there are a few ambiguities here and there due to the rough art. At this stage, this is more of a starting point than a finished concept. It'll be a tough battle, but you managed to get a majority of the votes. Barely. Yay! We made it! Sorry to everyone who lost this round, but this is our selection. Don't fret though. You still did a great job getting so far. It might not be the job or prize you wanted, but we also have some unique Naughty Cat t-shirts and other goodies for you. Don't forget to pick them up on your way out. Except for the last part of today's finale. A face-off of the contestants to determine who will start as a junior artist at Naughty Cat next month. Well, and there's also that 1,000 euros to be won. We did it. Take a sip of your gamer juice, guys. Here we go. Hell yeah. This is it. I already almost expected that I have to compete directly with Phoenix if I wanted to win. There's one final test left. They said it's a face-off. But it'll have to be related to the job, right? I can't win with technical skill alone. They basically said so themselves. So I'll have to find some other quality that makes me desirable for them. Alright, Iolite and Phoenix, are you ready? You could think of this as the final test, as a sort of a job interview. Both of you have something that qualifies you to work here. But we want to see who would be the better addition to the team. And don't worry too much about what we might want to hear, just be honest. A little disclaimer though for everyone watching at home. Our decisions here only represent our studio policies. Other companies might look for other qualities, and just because something worked here doesn't mean that it'll work for other studios. Do your research before you apply. Let's start with the first question. There's probably a reason why you decided to take part of the competition, right? So why exactly do you want to work at Naughty Cat, Phoenix? Well, I was introduced to video games fairly late, and I can't say that they're much more than an occasional pastime for me. But I think the challenge of creating art that is aesthetic and still serves a purpose is a lot more present in games than in a lot of other media. It intrigued me, and Naughty Cat seemed like one of the best studios to work at. Alright, and you, Iolite? Just be honest, we love the games. I love games. Well, I've been playing your game for years. They're among my absolute favorites, and if there's a game studio I'd want to look at, it's Naughty Cat. Just the thought of contributing to some of my favorite franchises makes me excited. That's some nice enthusiasm, but is that the only reason you applied here? Well, basically. Alright, thanks for your answer. This definitely gives us a better idea of your motivation. Let's continue with the classic. Iolite. What do you think is your biggest weakness? Dots. Where do you even start? Let's be honest, current skill level. I say my biggest weakness is my current skill level. Of all the contestants here, my work had the most rough edges. I mean, you said it yourself that you mainly let me proceed because of my idea. That's more or less how I see myself. My main selling point is that I know that I can still improve a lot. Well, and that I can work well within my limitations. Alright, Phoenix. I don't want to sound conceited, but I think for me, it's almost the opposite. I really enjoy painting. To relax, I usually paint just for the sake of painting. And as you mentioned earlier, I have to get lost in the details. So, oh, that's not really what's important for concept art though. So if you just go by that, illustration might actually be what I'd enjoy the most. And I've been wondering whether I want to be an artist or an artisan. As enjoyable as it is to create art, just for the process of creating it, I want to create something with more use and meaning to it. It could be a challenge for me, but I think overcoming weaknesses is the only way to grow. Oh, remember you can improve is important, but don't forget to sell us your strong points too. So tell us, why should we choose you over the other? Why compare? Talk it out with Phoenix. That's not good. Get out. Maybe we talk about this. I realize that this is mainly about us selling our strong points, but I don't think it's that simple. Phoenix and I are inherently different in what we can and cannot do, so I can't just say, here's what makes you better. And I'd like to believe that it's the same the other way around. Well, no, that's interesting. Go ahead, talk it out. Well, the most obvious answer would be that Phoenix wins the technical skill, while I maybe think of slightly more interesting ideas, right? Yeah, I think that's more or less what I would have said. But isn't this basically unimportant when you want to figure out who will be the better fit of your team? Or rather, how should we know what exactly you need? Oh right, I didn't think about that. I mean, ultimately, we can't really answer the question because you don't even know the team. So it's a trick question. Probably. But our answers also say a lot about our personalities, right? I'll admit, this was a bit of a curveball to see what you'll do, but we definitely didn't expect this. So how are we supposed to answer then? Well, we can still talk about our strong points, right? I just don't think saying what makes us better than the other really works. But I also feel iffy about saying what's good about me, because for better or worse, I think someone still has a subjective view on themselves. Sure, go ahead. In a way, our question was already answered, but feel free to continue. Sure, why not? If we can't continue, let's freaking do it. Why don't we just talk about the other one's strong points? We'd probably miss some things, but isn't it more objective this way? Or at least it's subjective in a different way. That's fine by me. So should I start? Sure. Let's see. I really like the simplicity in your art. It never feels like something is missing. You just reduce everything to the bare minimum so that it's necessary for work. I don't think I could do that even if I tried. You're right, and your personality. I haven't known you for long, but I think you have a good sense of responsibility. At least when other people are involved. You don't just stop doing what needs to be done. Thanks. Personally, I think one of your biggest strong points is how diligent you are. You do your work well and don't waste any time. I also feel like you have pretty high standards for yourself and what you're working on. And at least to me, it seems like you don't really struggle to reach them. Now isn't that sweet? You two are definitely full of surprises. Well then, we need some time to come up with a conclusion, but I think this was a productive interview. We'll tell you when we've made a decision. We were supposed to wait outside while the judges talked about what they had just heard. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I think it was 20 minutes past before we were called back into the room. To be honest, I didn't think the decision would take so long. But then again, it was a fairly important decision for them. And ultimately also for us. Sorry for the wait. When you finally come to a conclusion. Of course, we're looking for a talented artist. Otherwise, the initial selection, the theoretical test, and the practical test wouldn't have been there. But this isn't all we're looking for. Iolite. We were positively surprised by your initiative during the interview. It was important to us to see how you deal with stress and how you function with other people. Rivalry is good and all, but it can also get in the way of teamwork. You didn't want to compare your strong points to Phoenix's on the basis that you are too different to be directly compared. Maybe you're a little too keen on avoiding conflict, but that's okay. Thinking about other people on your team is definitely a plus. And you also thought about the purpose of the question instead of just answering it right away. We like it when people show some agency at work. That's what ultimately convinced us. The decision we've come to is... Yay! Then you will be our new junior artist! Let's go! Joyous watch at home! We nailed it. I'm so sorry, Phoenix. Oh no. I just realized. Oh no, Phoenix. Oh fuck, I didn't read that. Whoops. Oh my god. Did I hear this right? There's still some formalities that we will have to take care of before you can officially start. But what do you say? Do you want to be part of our team? Yes, of course. Alright, then we're happy to welcome you into the Naughty Cat family. Phoenix, you're still a great artist and don't let this drag you down too much, okay? I'm sure there are other studios who'd be more than happy to have you. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining us today. Nailed it! I can't believe it. Somehow I managed to win this competition. Somehow I managed to get a job at the game studio I've always admired. And somehow I managed to get out of this financial nightmare that the whole month has been so far. Dots. Phoenix told me to meet up with him in front of the building. I don't see him anywhere. He didn't leave without me, right? Some people from the art team wanted to talk to me. I don't think it took all that long. So I had to keep you waiting out a light. I couldn't help but look at some of the artwork in the hallways on my way out. Congrats on winning. It was a tough battle, but you deserve the position. Thanks. Are you sure that you're alright, though? I mean, what you told me the other day. I'm fine. I gave my situation some thought, and you're right. Then the competition isn't the end of the world. I might have wasted some time along the way, but what I learned won't go to waste. I'll somehow make this art thing work out. By the way, how's Joyce? I was pretty surprised when he suddenly called me yesterday. Wait, what? Why'd he call you? Oh, you didn't know. Joyce said something about trying to expand his social circle. I see. Wonder why he didn't say anything to me. Well, you better ask him yourself. Right. Is that about it? Wanna grab some lunch? Our train didn't leave for another hour. Sure, we'll get some lunch. We'll get some lunch next time. So, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I will see you later.